Hey everyone, I'm Taylor Brown, and this is how I did it with Taylor Brown on point. So let's get straight to the point. On today's show, we're here with Melanie Royster, also known as Melroy. Melanie Royster is a visual artist. She's a former D1 athlete, played for VCU, and she's one of my former teammates. We played with the Lady Terps, AAU basketball, way back in the day at Elizabeth Seton High School. And Melanie, thank you so much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So, Melanie, one thing I've noticed about you, 2020, you really have stepped out. I would say, look on the outside looking in, your comfort zone as far as your art. I had no idea you had so much art and so much talent. And just to see you just blossom and really, like, just go 100% at it and just to share your gift with the world and with other people has been a beautiful thing to see. So I want to ask you, you created your own page called Melroy. You have your personal, Melanie Royster. Who is Melroy?
So Melroy is, I would say it taps into my alter ego a little bit. I feel like she's the one that's mostly doing my artwork. She's the one that's kind of fearless. She's the one that's kind of brave, cares about other people a lot in a way where she wants other women to feel confident too as well. So I would say that's more so Melroy. So that's the creative side of me for sure.
Got you. So let's go in depth. If you can give me, what was your biggest lesson from the pandemic?
Ooh, so my biggest lesson from the pandemic, I would say the beginning of the pandemic was really tough for me. As you know, I'm a social person. I'm an extrovert. I love being around people. I would go out all the time. And the pandemic kind of just made me sit still, right? And the thing with me, a lot of the thoughts and so on that would go through my head, I would ignore them by going out with friends, just staying busy, just moving around. So when I'm sitting still, I'm confronted by all these things that I was ignoring for years. And I was kind of like depressed, I'm not gonna lie. And just one day, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of feeling like this. And just even kind of overcoming some of those things and really like pushing through it, I was like, life is too short. And you know, we're seeing people dying around us. Like, I lost a few family members from the pandemic, and I'm like, life is too short. This is my passion. I've been hiding it from people for a while. Like, friends knew that I was, an artist. I would do some commission pieces for people here and there, but I'm like, I have something to say. I had a lot of feelings to get out there. I feel like it was a great way to kind of push this thing about confidence in women, and I feel like artwork was like the best way for me to kind of get that out there. And I feel like even just from responses that I've been getting from customers or someone that buy my artwork or work with me, they kind of, that resonates for them too as well.
Yeah.
So I would say that was my biggest challenge, really pushing through those boundaries and then just being confident and just going full force with the with my art career, because it could be kind of scary, you know. So I just had to be brave. So being brave, I would say, is the thing that took off in 2020.
Yeah. I have to ask you, you went full force and you got great feedback. You got a lot of love, a lot of support from your friends and family. You know, we talked about this before. I'm sure, like, it means a lot to you. Would it be different if it was the opposite? Let's say you were dropping your art and, you know, it just, like, wasn't getting as much love or attention. Would you still go as hard? Would you still keep going? Or do you feel like you need that support that, like...
So that makes sense. I think in the beginning that support was very important. I would say things probably would have looked different if I didn't have that support. I'm just lucky enough that I have such a great support system. Not many people have that.
Yeah.
I'm actually very blessed with the support system I have.
Yeah.
I would say now, almost at a year, surprisingly, a lot of the people that I work with now, a lot of people that I create artwork for now, I don't really know them until they either DM me, email me, call me. So I feel like in the beginning, my friends and family supporting me really helped kind of let me fly off the nest, if you will. So now I feel fearless. I feel like there's people that find my work, and now I'm kind of branching out where most of the time, even now, people buy my artwork from my shop. I don't know them.
Now,
Yeah.
somebody from another country.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
All right, give me the country.
Especially with Etsy, they kind of changed some of their kind of ways they work, so now people could buy internationally. So seeing somebody from like Germany buying my artwork, I'm like, there's so many different cultures.
Yeah.
Like I know we have different backgrounds, but the fact that someone could still feel like it makes sense for them, that's what's really important for me. I want other people to kind of feel what I'm trying to, the stories I'm trying to put out there, how I'm trying to make people feel.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just really important. It's just nice to see that other people feel that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. One thing I wanted to bring up is you're not just a good artist, but you have some style. The way you dress, you have some style. You gotta talk to me.
I got some style. No, I never thought of myself as a fashionable person.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks. I'm like, okay.
I mean, is there like is there like a process, or do you have like a certain type of style you're going for? Or is it just like how you feel?
I think I dress definitely how I feel. Okay. So like how I look right now, it's probably like 10% out of the year. Most of the time I'm in very comfortable clothing. I wear a lot of, like you see I wear a lot of African print. My mom's Jamaican, so I tend to wear a lot of vibrant colors, kind of like bohemian, baggy kind of.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just really it's my mom. My mom is the fashionable one, so I probably got it from her, to be honest, just by default, because I never thought of myself as a fashionable person. Okay. So I'm actually very flattered. But I think it just goes hand in hand with like even my artwork, just the same thought process, like how do I want to look today? I want texture. I want different colors. I want this to pop versus that. So I think I just think of everything like our art process, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it just comes natural.
Oh, thanks.
So let's go back a little bit. College. I know, we stayed in touch. We talked good times, bad times. But like you said, you were in art school, D1 athlete, masters, still a D1 athlete. Talk to me about that whole process, because you already know we didn't have time to do anything.
Ooh, and we have a year to talk about. I mean, I honestly I like that I experienced what I experienced. I think that helps me, because a lot of people tell me like, you work so hard. I feel like you're working all the time. Like your what's it called? Like your drive.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. I think it comes from being an athlete, and I feel like that's why it's so important, because we were always on a schedule. Yeah. You have to perform in a certain way, and I think that even reflected in art school, because there'd be a lot of times where the art teacher's like, she's a D1, like she's playing basketball, she's traveling all the time, and she's still putting out good work. Like, right. She's still getting things done. Right. So thankfully, I'm always someone that just works hard, so I feel like I wanted those two things, so I was going to find a way to make it happen. Especially I had coaches because I had 3 different head coaches. Right. And even they were trying to get me to drop out of art school, because it was like I would be pulling all-nighters, and then I would go into practice without sleep. So, but I wanted to be in the art school. I chose VCU for art, because I know getting recruited, I was getting recruited by all these different schools. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm visiting schools, and I saw VCU Arts, and I'm like, this makes so much sense. And it was the #1 public art school. I think it still is. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not leaving. Even with 3 different head coaches, most players would transfer. I'm like, I'm staying. Yeah. I'm staying. So I would say it was kind of, I don't know if I could do it again. Yeah. But I'm glad that I did kind of go through that. So, but I think mental health was very important during that time. Because, you go in and out of depression. You're going through all these different things. You're young. Yeah. So, again, my support system. Right. If I didn't talk things out with people, if I didn't have certain friends that I could talk to, my teammates helped a tremendous amount, because they were great women. I still have those bonds to this day. Yeah. So I feel like without that, I wouldn't have been able to do the 2. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah. Even doing grad school. And at that point, once I was in grad school, I was helping the younger people out too. Because at that point, I'm seasoned. I'm just like, I'm used to this.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel that. And I can see that in your artwork. You're just constantly working. You're constantly trying to get better, and that's definitely an athlete mentality. Just kind of elaborate a little bit about that, like you know, you could easily just do, I'm just gonna do one piece a month, you know, and you're not like that.
So my problem is I'm like obsessed with Melroy at this point. Because you know your alter ego is someone that you would want to be. So like someone that you see as your better self, right? So I strive to be her every day. So when it comes to my artwork, I always constantly come up with these ideas and so it wakes me out my sleep. So it's like I'm always been that person like I want to do that right away or I'll forget or so there's sometimes I'll come up with the idea in the middle of the night and I'll literally start painting in the middle of the night, but nobody sees that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's just because I'm kind of obsessed. I'm so passionate about it, and I feel like people feel that, and I feel like that's why I'm kind of am where I am within a year right now. And it's not because I want money or I care about the following or so on. I really just am truly passionate about it, and I feel like that. I feel like with anything you do, people will see that either way. Like if you're just, you could be talented all you want, but if you don't put in the work, or you're not that passion, you're not using your passion to go through that, you're worrying about other things like followers or how much money you're making, you're gonna lose sight on why you did it in the first place. So I feel like I just don't lose sight on why I decided to start in the first place. And I think that's why I'm always working.
No, I can relate to that video being up late at night, and it's like I can watch a video and just think about it, put it down, don't touch it, come back later. All right, this is
like
better.
It literally wakes me out my sleep, like melatonin something, so I can just sleep throughout the night. But
no, definitely. So I want to talk to you about your last painting, your latest painting. You said was it commissioned? It wasn't.
So that one was actually a commission piece. It was by word of mouth. So I actually worked with this girl for her brand. And I created like some cards that she like greeting cards and like designs for like merchandise that she plans on putting on shirts.
Right.
And I know that she referred me to her friend because her friend was looking for some art from like a Black female artist and referred her to me. And she's also from Caribbean descent too as well. So I feel like there was a lot of things about her that made sense and it was easy to kind of create that piece for her.
Right. Yeah, that piece you created for her, but it spoke to so many people.
So the sad thing is, okay, so when I do have commission pieces, like, I keep the person in mind. But again, there's a reason why they asked me to create work for them. So I still also want to put a part of myself in there too as well, which is always sad for me to like give away my artwork after it's done. Like me packing it away, I actually have to ship it today. But it's always sad because I put so much of myself in there. So I think for this piece, I really wanted to show a lot of strength. That's the vibe I got from her. She might be, if you're seeing this, that's what I got from you. So I wanted it to be a really strong piece. And actually, it's funny because during the time that I was painting that piece for her, which I usually hate, I was actually very angry at the time. A lot of things were making me angry. And
I could feel that. I don't know if it was anger.
I don't want people to see. I didn't want people to see that because usually with my artwork, I want people, like, especially if I know that that piece is going to somebody's home. So I don't want that energy to be carried off to somebody's home. But I was talking to my friend and they're like, but it's also good to be in your, like, be present in your feelings. Like, that's not a bad thing. Because it could also, whatever you're feeling at the time could still could still produce really great artwork. So I'm actually kind of glad. It's not like I'm gonna make myself angry again for the next piece, but I like that the anger kind of twisted it a little bit in a way, like how her face is kind of disguised, but it's so much vibrance around her, and so I love that for this piece. And don't worry, I saged it, so you're not gonna have like bad juju or anything in your home, but I think for this piece, it was really important for it to be strong, and I'm kind of glad that I had some aggression at the time so that it could come out in my artwork.
For sure. I definitely felt that. So, as you already know, I'm an introvert, right? I have to, in a way, protect my energy because I could easily get drained and, you know how it goes for introverts. So, but one thing we talked about a lot is just being comfortable in your own space. Whether that's your home, your office, wherever, you are in your life. Can you just talk about how, you just creating your own art, how that has made you feel comfortable have other people told you, yo, Mel, like your piece has made me felt like I'm at home, you know?
So, I mean, even to this day, I feel like people I don't even know. So that's how I know that it's not just, of course, my friends are not just gonna sweet talk me. Like, whatever they're saying is genuine, but coming from people I don't even know or have a relationship with, the fact that they could come, like, they DM me or email me and say, like, you know, this piece, you know, it really made me happy. I'm glad that I bought a print of this. I feel like it, in this home, it went great with this, and I just feel so on. And there's so many people that say they feel like they resonate with my work. Even men too, because I usually advocate for women. And there's even men that are like, 'cause, you know, men could be drawn to femininity too.
Right.
So kind of that nurturing, comforting spirit, I feel like I put that through my work. So that's why some people, I feel like it just does that for them. And I get a lot of reviews that say that. And I'm glad that because that's what I want to do.
Right.
Because again, nothing's a purpose until you're able to help other people out or like affect people around you positively. And that's what I'm trying to do in my work, and tell stories and advocate for other people who can't tell them those stories for themselves.
Gotcha.
Even like things like Mother Nature, I think that's like my biggest, one of my best-selling pieces. A lot of people's like, I've just never seen Mother Nature portrayed like that. Even coming from women that are Caucasian, they're like, I've always seen Mother Nature kind of like a white lady, green hair, in a mountain, so on. But like with you had all these kind of different animals. She's, you know, thick because of course it's Mother Nature. She's nurturing. Why would she be a stick? She's like she gives and so on. Like thick and, you know, just kind of just like more so bringing in like all the pieces of nature and so on, and it feels like she's captivating. So just from that one piece, I always want to make sure that certain things are seen in a different light versus what we always see in the art industry.
So who's your favorite artist? Are you your favorite artist?
I'm not even gonna lie, I have a lot of favorite artists. I would say right now, I don't want to mess up her name, so her name is Reina Nortega.
Okay.
It's not even like, because a lot of her pieces are very similar, right? But like when it comes to her art career, I see myself kind of modeling. It's like a case study for me, because she's like more commercial with it. So she works with brands. She's even designed stuff for like makeup packages, like her artwork's on the side of like buildings. Even when Christmas, I saw her pop up in a commercial. So it's like, her artwork is so strong, and it makes people feel, and it makes women feel good about themselves, and that's the same thing I'm trying to, and she's from Caribbean background, like, I just feel like she really resonates for me. I would say if you haven't checked out her work, you should, even though you look at her work and it might seem kind of, not simple, but a lot of it's the same, but for some reason, every single piece still feels different. You could tell that she puts energy into it as well. Like, she puts certain energy into it, and she's telling stories, too. So I would say she's like one of my favorites for sure right now. I would say I'm my favorite, too, as well. You gotta be your biggest fan. But
So what are some of the challenges as an artist, entrepreneur, female artist?
So I will say, me deciding to go, kind of try to go full on with my art career. Even right now, I'm still doing design, so I'm a color consultant for Benjamin Moore right now. So it's like, you know, it's good, you know, money right now. Eventually, you know, I could go full on to my art career. I would say the biggest challenge is like, it's really taking a bet on yourself or betting on yourself. Because it's like, I'm not making the same amount that I was like years prior, but I know that as a byproduct, the money's gonna come. Right? And just being really positive for yourself. So telling myself like, Mel, why are you even doing this? Like, why not do something else? So on. And then you hit the click up like, this is why I was doing it. So like, really self-talk.
How do you snap back out of that? When that self-doubt, everybody has self-doubt. And it's like, you know, should I be doing something else? What snaps you back into getting back, you know, focused?
And I think, again, it's the athlete mentality. So I feel like if let's say I went back and I never played basketball, I feel like things would be so different for me. Because I grew up the shy girl, an introvert, so on. And then basketball kind of forced me out of that. Because I was in a lot of other things. I was still in art club. I was still in band, but I didn't have to, like, perform on a court, and you know? So I think basketball definitely taught me how to just like, come on, like let's go, like just
Yes.
get over it. Like why are you talking to yourself like that? It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
I will say, like I'll go through weeks where I'm kind of like down. It's human nature. But sometimes when I do, like sometimes I see myself talking to myself like that. I'm like talking to myself like, Mel, stop talking to yourself like that. Like,
Yeah.
or I'll even go back and look at reviews. I'll go back on certain posts and look at comments. Or sometimes I feel like the people around me feel it, and sometimes friends just text me like,
That's
"Girl,
real.
stop!" Like, yeah, like
That's
stop
real.
talking to yourself like that. So,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a mix of things, but definitely the athlete mentality of just like, you lose a game, you get over it, you get ready for the next game. So I feel like just that mentality kind of is weird that it's transferred over to art in that way. And I've even seen it in art school too,
Okay.
where some of my classmates be like, that critique was harsh, like the teacher talked to you like this, like so on. I'm like, she's nothing like my coach. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm like, y'all, like, you got hurt from what the professor said. I'm like, you don't even know what my coach is saying to me.
Yeah.
Like, or what I'm going through, suicides and all that. She's not making you run suicides. Like, class is over. You could do your next project. So I feel like that just mentality just carried over.
Wow. That's very interesting you say that. So, best moment or client experience you can give me where it was just like you just broke down in tears or you felt like that really, connected with you and the client?
There's so many. I feel like I'm low-key like a crybaby. Even to this day, like let's say I go on my Etsy and I have some sales, I'm gonna be like, oh, like look at you guys buying from me. Like I'm still surprised that people, even during a pandemic, that like, because it's not a necessity, but like you guys are still buying and it's only going up. You know, like it's not like it's slowing down or anything. It's a steady growth. So I feel like every day, really. Yeah. I can't pick just one thing because whether I celebrate small and large victories kind of the same in a way. I'm gonna react the same way because I'm just so thankful and still like so surprised. So it doesn't matter what it is. Whether somebody's buying like an 8x10 print that's like what, $25 versus like a large painting, I'm still gonna feel the same way about both because it's just like the fact that you're still even coming to me for even just artwork or just for my expertise or anything like that just is big for me. So I can't pick a certain one.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. So we're down to the last 3 questions. First question, what inspires you?
So that's like 2 things, right? So what inspires my artwork and then just what inspires me in general. Yeah. So I would say when it comes to artwork, again, I have a Caribbean background, especially even in this area. Grew up around a lot of like African culture, West African culture. So I would say you see that a lot in my artwork with like the outlining, the vibrant colors, the texture, and then women in general. I love the whole sense of femininity, but not in the sense where it's submissive, but in a way to show women in strength. Yeah. Kind of like an alpha female, or in a leading space. You know, that's really important in my artwork. I try to show that a lot. Yeah. And then just in general, that's a hard one. In general, I think it's just still women, right? Which is, still carries off to my artwork. But, like, again, I'm really blessed by the people that I have around my life. And I think that's because I feel energy. So I could go in a space and be like, this is bad energy. So when it comes to people, I'm attracted to, like, good energy. And I'm probably going to, like, come here. Like, come here. And I feel like there's so many wonderful women in my life. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm like, there's so many women just doing boss stuff, especially in the DMV. Like, you see that with women. Like, we're just
it's
doing
like a must.
great things. And it's just, that keeps me going. Because I'm like, my friend, she's doing, like, I have to keep up. Because, like, I don't want to lose these bonds. I don't want, like, we're egging each other on to do bigger and better things. So I feel like that really inspires me for sure.
Why do you think that is in Prince George's County?
In PG? I don't know why that is. Yeah. I don't know why a lot of things are the way they are in PG. I feel like in the DMV, there's just this great culture when it comes to the Black community. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you see that with the athletes that are coming out.
Yeah.
Like, you see that with artists, like singing or rapping or anything like that. We just produce
really good,
amazing, creative people, just great people. So, like, just when it comes to the women in my life, I'm like, she's such a boss. Like, I could be a boss, too. So, I think really, for sure, it's the women in my life.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. What's your pet peeve?
Pet peeve? I should, like, kind of work on that. Like, boundaries, I'm working on boundaries, guys. Because, like, I see the good in, like, everything. I would say pet peeve is when people are not open to different ideas. So I think from being younger, my mom taking me to Jamaica when I was, like, from a young child, and then even the schools I went to and so on, I was around different cultures or different types of personalities, and then going to art school, lots of different personalities and so on. I think I was just so open to how different people think, their cultures, or just thinking about all those different things. So when somebody's closed off and their way is the only way, or like they just are not open to different ways of thinking,
Right.
that actually kills my energy. I don't want to be around somebody like that.
Gotcha.
Because then most likely you probably don't have a growth mindset either.
Right.
You're probably okay with being stagnant. And I don't need to be around that. Because I don't want to fall into that. I want to.
Right.
I was just talking about bosses. I'm trying to, and it's not like I want to be this millionaire or anything like that. If I am, cool.
Yeah.
But it's more so just being a positive force in someone's life. And people usually like that who are closed are not. It's actually very miserable being around that.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably my pet peeve, is when people are just closed-minded and kind of ignorant to, like, what's outside the U.S. too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
True.
But that's another topic.
Yeah.
We could go into that. But, yeah, just not being open-minded.
No, I feel that. Guilty pleasure.
I would say eating out.
Yeah.
I would say eating out, which has been hard during this pandemic, because, like, eating out, I don't know what it is about the experience. Like, maybe just being able to, like, be with different friends and kind of experience different foods and so on. It's foods that I probably can't cook myself. So it would be one thing if I'm just eating American food. I'm like, Mel, you could cook that at home, but no, like, all different types. I would say eating out for sure.
Yeah.
Is a guilty pleasure. I've done a lot better because of the pandemic, but...
Favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant? Ooh, that's hard. I have so many. I would say my favorite food, though, is definitely, like, Indian and, like, Ethiopian.
Okay.
So, like, and then, like, West Africa. Okay, so it's a lot of food, but usually those areas, like, Ethiopian or Indian spots, for sure.
All right, cool. Well, no, those are all my questions I have for you today. I know, we can keep going, like, it's flowing. But will you be back? We do another one?
Of course.
Cool.
You already know.
Cool, yeah. No, but thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks
I really
for
do
having
appreciate
me.
it. And that's a wrap. Episode 18 of Melroy. And thank you guys for watching. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Spacey Cloud and The Loop and Rego Productions, for this amazing production today. So, again, thank you, Mel. And I'm Taylor Brown, on point. Yeah. You ever see that?